We wanted to know what your inspiration for the game was.
Funny that you're sat in Dr. Evil's lair, so you can tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I mean, here he is, the man himself, hiding behind me in the background.
Professor Norwood.
Yeah.
He's an amalgamation. Professor Norwood is the villain in Facility 7, and he's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of bumbling evil geniuses.
We definitely drew a lot of inspiration from Dr. Evil. He's, the quintessential funny evil villain, for in a spy thing. Our version, though, of Norwood, Professor Norwood, he's a pop culture nerd. He's watched a lot of spy movies and he loves them, and so he's created his own versions of the gadgets from these spy movies and brought them into real life.
Because you've got a lot of cool like gadget cards, covert cards, and you got the characters. Like Boston Flowers, stuff like that.
And I was just wondering,
did you have to like sit and watch for like weeks to weeks spy movies and TV shows, or did you how did you like come up with it? Did you just sit on the sofa like nonstop, or?
I would say half of it was me just always having been a really big fan of spy gadgets and action heroes and all that stuff. So I probably pulled half of that out of my head. The other half came when we're like, okay, we're really going to make this, happen. We're going to watch some spy movies. We're going to sit down and we are going to sit on the sofa for hours. And it was a lot of fun. It was the best research you could do.
And we realized that we had forgotten Agent Smith and like Foxy Cleopatra. Obviously they're renamed, but we had to add a few new agents. We tend to whatever creative thing we're doing, we tend to watch a lot of media of that theme. Like when we did Curse of Strahd, D&D, vampires. Yeah. Now it's all about spies. So we're watching a lot of it now.
That's really cool. Is there like a group of people that you can particularly see playing this? Would it be
like people who are into spy movies, or just,
I think it certainly skews nerd. That's kind of a given when we're working on a project. we're pretty nerdy. But I mean, what do you think, Alyssa?
I totally know. I've thought about this a lot. I think that it would appeal to people who like storytelling. Because I feel like it's a game where you can play straight up mechanics, but you can also kind of like really get into the back and forth and whatever story is being built by the events that are happening and by what agents are playing. So we kind of hope it encourages role play in some people. But I think it feels to people that like storytelling, people that love pop culture, and people that want to play some party games that maybe isn't your typical party game because they're strategy. Like a different kind of strategy.
And people that like annoying your friends.
Oh yeah.
By dazing them. Stealing their data.
Yeah.
In a lighthearted.
It's very lighthearted. So that's
one.
Yeah. That's a key thing that you hit right on the head there. It's supposed to be for people who enjoy, a little playful back and forth. Okay, there's no brutal finishing of someone or betraying them like you get in some of these games where it's just like it's a knife in the heart sometimes. And it can be hard to play those games regularly because it's like very stressful and it like puts strain on relationships.
Yeah, a little bit.
I did not want this game to be like that. So yes, there is a lot of betraying each other, but there was never any idea that you were allied, and it's not gonna end your game either. It's really hard to die.
Yeah.
You can.
You can always pay somebody off.
But it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, speaking of that, almost the worst thing about the game was having to play it on Tabletopia, because you could see, like, how fun it would be in person. Yeah. Like, we still actually had quite a lot of fun. But I can just imagine in person, it's, like, just really funny because you're more interactive, I guess, to, like, kind of...
It's good to rub some cards in each other's faces.
Still yeah, exactly.
I was just saying it's like a perfect game for us because we like to share our hobby with, family and
friends that don't necessarily play games all the time. So I think it really hits the perfect spot where we could play it with our family and it would be really enjoyable and fun, but there is enough strategy that if you do like games, then it's still, you know, entertaining and interesting because it kind of really hits the perfect balance.
Well, that makes me feel really good because
That's
I
amazing that you said
specifically
that.
designed the game for that purpose. Like I play tested with my dad, who does not play games. No, the whole purpose of this was to play with people who were not necessarily super hardcore gamers, and as a
Or at
result,
all.
I put as many of the rules on the cards as possible. My idea was that you would, you know, you know the general way to play, and then you can just go for it. Just read what you have in your hand, and it
And
works.
especially
We always, I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I think we've said maybe even in our Everdell review that the easiest kind of game to learn and the best games to teach are ones like yours, where it's, you know, there's like these rules and it's like you move and you discover a room and then everything's on the cards and the cards are pretty self-explanatory, right? It's like do this and that happens, and
Yeah.
it makes it a lot nicer to teach, you know, than rather having to explain 20 pages of rules.
And then
But
they don't even want to play
it's a nice one to break out.
the rules
Yeah.
took so long. Yeah.
Ideally, you'd be able
we
to
tried to teach.
jump
We
right
tried
in.
to teach my side, didn't go.
Like Eldritch Horror teaching someone. It's not even gonna work.
A 6-hour game. And then, of course, the other great thing about the game is that you can determine the length of the game. You know, at the beginning, you pretty much have full control. So we love that. I guess for the viewers at home, I should say why that is. Because you build the facility as you go. In the beginning of the game, you have to create what's called a room deck with a bunch of room cards. And as you go, you're laying out these cards and building up the facility. But eventually, you run out of cards, and that's the size of the facility.
And the very last card is the
It's the
mainframe.
mainframe that you're looking for, yeah. So we have, you know, I don't know the final number because we're still tweaking, but somewhere around 30 room cards are going to ship
36.
with the game. It could be 28, it could be 36, but it's going to be somewhere in there. And so with all those different cards, you're only taking maybe 8 out of that deck to build your facility.
Yeah.
So it's never the same.
Oh, so this kind of led me to a question I had, because as I understand it, like so you need to escape, you need to have these escape rooms, and so would there, like, what happens, say, if you do it and there isn't an escape room, or
you can leave through the entryway,
or not happen, or
you can always leave through the entryway.
It's just a question, but it's not been a problem. But it was just something I wondered.
No, that's a
great
I think
question,
actually,
because it does say entrance.
I think actually, like, one of the things I really liked about it as well. So I was kind of reading the rules, and maybe some of it, like, I remember asking you about being dazed, and then it, you know, is it the turn after your turn or the next turn? And what I really liked is that I had these questions, and then I played, and then it becomes like super apparent really quickly, like how everything works, like why you would be dazed and it not be your turn, and like all these cards. And I remember thinking as well, like, you only have like 2 connection nodes if you play 2 players, so there are only 2 data, but then you have all these cards, and I just kind of like that instantly, like, everything was, I don't know, transparent, and then you're like, oh, I get it, and then very quickly and easily.
I'm really glad to hear
good.
you say that.
Yeah,
like, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, even when you plan so hard to make sure there's so much clarity, you still, you know, we teach and have taught like 100 people at cons and playtesting, but it's different when the creator is not there teaching, you know, blind playtesting. So it's good when that goes really well.
Yeah, we spent a
while.
But
I guess, which is probably a bonus for you guys, is that 2 of the people we played with, like, they don't really board game, like, pretty much no experience, and like, they had the rules, and then, I mean, they read the rules and they knew what they were doing, and they were playing fine. And in fact, the girlfriend of my best friend, she was like, no, you got to do that instead of that.
Good.
So it's like, it's good.
That's cool.
So
that's
you
awesome.
can, she she left too early, and then I stayed in the building, collected one more data than her, and then escaped.
Yeah, leaving is a double-edged thing. You can't
She had the most by far, but then she went just too early, like the first round of the super strikes.
Yeah, that's too early. Yeah.
So then I just stayed. I think stole some data from everyone and then like took the fridge.
That's the way to do
the
it.
fridge on the way out.
The fridge. Yeah.
No, she stayed. Like...
So did you win?
But yeah, so it was a tense ending. So I won. Yeah,
you
won that
one.
one.
Well, congratulations. Yeah.
I've been okay.
Only me and Morgan now.
Yeah.
I had a really good time recently because a lot of people had a lot of data and got out of the facility, and I had like none, so they weren't scared of me. I only had one, but since they left me all alone and there were like 3 turns left, I was able to like get my 2 secret objectives on my top secret card, grab one more, and then ended up coming in second or maybe even winning.
Yeah.
But like those secret objectives really help you send you over the edge with victory
this is
points.
What's great about it, the up and down and the cards. So it's not just what's on the board, it's that you can kind of steal or have secret cards in your hand or
there's a
like
whole
lot
of
so it's quite versatile.
A lot of espionage and tricky stuff going on, and it's very what's the word,
but
it if you're ahead, don't get too comfortable.
Oh yeah. It's
not like a racing game where you're like, oh well, we're never gonna catch him. Not really.
Yeah.
You can.
you can get everything taken from you.
Yes, you can lose it all.
And it's like almost like you're.
Really enjoy. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's like almost like the cards you have in your hand, your gadgets and your hand almost kind of are like your hit points in a way, and you're shielding against being attacked, and someone's very vulnerable if they have one card in their hand and no cash. But that's it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think we really like games where you don't know who's gonna win until right at the last minute.
Yeah, that's our favorite.
Yeah, I think because it can sometimes be, if you can really see that someone is far ahead, like you say, it can
be a little bit demotivating. Whereas this, it's like all to play for right until the very end. So we really like that.
Yeah, it totally is.
But one of our favorite mechanics, not knowing who's going to win, like being totally blind.
But still, like it's a balance of having like you want it to be like I earned this with strategy, but also but also there's a good dose of luck, and who knows who the heck's going to win.
Yeah, so the game is 60-40 between strategy and luck, but it can flip. It could be 40-60. It's I don't really know. It's hard to really say, but it's definitely a solid mix of both. I wanted to jump back though, talking about the rules, because a big part of Facility 7 is the flexible rules. If you saw in the rule book, there's a million different rule variants, and that's just because we really want to encourage you to make it your game. The system is solid. You can beat the hell out of
6
these rules.
years solid.
Like you aren't gonna break this. It will work no matter what little house rule you throw at it. It's still good. So we've included like a million house rules in the rule book specifically.
As long as you make the winner a sandwich. That's my favorite optional rule.
Yeah, a little IRL.
Yeah.
Feed over.
Well, when we get that IRL back, won't that be nice?
That's good to know. Though we'll have to play some of the house rules.
Yeah, we'll look forward. We'll definitely be trying them out.
Totally.
But one thing I did want to say as well is I quite like the balance of humor in the game, like on the event cards, for example, and like the rooms and stuff, because it has like so recently we did a review on Forgotten Waters, and like we spoke a lot about the humor in that. And it strikes the right balance of like not like uber cheesy, but still like funny. So it's like a nice it kind of hits it just right, like on the cards and stuff. Like it's silly, but it's not like just like silly for being silly's sake. It's like actually quite it fits very well with the game.
Thank
you.
It's
quite fun to read out the effect cards.
I'm glad to hear that as well. And I got to point back at Gold Member. Austin Powers Gold Member, because that movie, the reason it's so good is because it is making fun of itself, and it knows
Mhm.
that it's being
Yeah,
silly, and it's okay with
Mhm.
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
And so
yeah,
I went after that hard with Facility 7. Like, this is,
Capture that spirit.
this is a silly thing. It's okay to be silly.
yeah. Yeah.
And we're
But
like,
so
yeah, go ahead.
no, sorry, continue.
I kind of lost it. It's okay.
But one of the things that this reminds me, like Tilty reminds me of a bit, is it kind of feels like a bit like it's. So I want to say before I say this, it's his own game, right? Like it's totally different, but it kind of feels to me a bit like an evolution of Betrayal, House on the Hill.
Yep.
Like
Totally.
because like it's a very popular game, but it has a lot of problems, and I feel like this kind of irons out some of them. Like in that you get to the horn, and then sometimes I don't know, you get killed before it's your turn, or like that kind of
Actually,
thing. And this
That
kind of because of like the way it is, and I think it feels like an evolution. And also the thing about Betrayal is that we've been playing Legacy a bit,
oh
and
yeah.
oh,
it's
I love
really
to do
funny
that.
to play, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure it like means to be sometimes. Like we make our own stuff,
Yeah,
where this is meant to be. So it kind of like
yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know, but yeah, it just really feels an evolution, and like for people that like that, it could be really good because it like well, it's different, but the problems of like the player like horn and traitor like because everyone's level it like irons out all of that, and there's just a bit of like fun I think, and
Yeah.
also the card usage as well, and
You're
everyone's kind of equal. But yeah,
you are saying so many things that make us feel so great because it's like you're just having spot on observations.
We
Because like
tried to
say,
do that. Yes, I mean, Betrayal was a huge influence. I mean, obviously, look at it, right?
yeah.
But I mean, it's
yeah,
very. I took a lot of game mechanics from Betrayal, but like
yeah,
you said, it's an evolution. It's not just Betrayal.
Then it's
Uh,
very
there's
different.
another game that I also really love and was a big influence on this called Bang, with an exclamation mark.
yeah,
It's like a spaghetti western kind of game, and you play cards against each other. So I wanted to combine those two. That was kind of my initial vision was Betrayal
Mhm.
plus Bang, but spies and funny, and
yeah, yeah,
obviously I
Mhm.
throw in my own stuff as well. But that's what we set out to do. So I'm so glad to hear you say that.
yeah. Well, I
Definitely.
have to say, as long as you don't, well, the thing is because like the agent stats are set. So not having those plastic clips you have to move up and down is like instantly a win, basically.
That's so
Yeah.
Because I like another Trail Legacy board, like my one is like torn up
Oh yeah.
just from moving it up and down. We're only like 10 games, like it's like
Oh
destroyed.
yeah.
Like those clips are the worst things ever.
It's a fun mechanic, but yeah, little simplicity can help. I also really just
Mhm.
wanted to do
Yeah, no,
cards. That was the other
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah,
Betrayal
yeah,
has a lot of cool stuff, but one of the main problems with Betrayal that I don't want to, I love
Yeah.
Betrayal, okay,
Right.
but
Right.
one of the big problems that
Obviously.
I
yeah, yeah,
see is that you have, I don't know, 100 different tokens, and they're all specific
yeah,
to what they're doing,
yeah,
and it's just like, no, please,
yeah,
no. We're doing
yeah.
something similar, but they're wildcard tokens. And I actually have a little one
yeah,
right here, a little
Yeah.
wild
Yeah.
card
Bust out
piece there.
them those
Yeah, so
components.
these can be
Nice.
whatever you need them to be. And there are going to be 18 of these,
Ah,
three different styles that are going to
mm,
ship with the game.
We're about
So,
to do like we're gonna have some game variants that we showcase, and I think we're gonna do Shark Attack
yeah,
first, where like all of the whole facility is underwater, and the clone guards are sharks with freaking laser
yep,
beams.
yep. And we accomplished
that's so
that
good.
through the use of these wild cards. Another thing to hold up to the camera. So it's going to ship with, I believe, either 7 or 21. We haven't quite finalized it, but uh,
Zombies,
yeah,
yeah,
stuff
this
like
is the wild card, and there's a wild card of every kind of card in the game. So here, this is
gadgets.
just an ops card, but it's also an action card. Here is a covert wild card. Looks like ops, but so if you want to play with these, you can use them for custom game variants like Shark Attack. So in this case, I don't know, maybe this wild card could be like a scuba tank or something. So when you're playing your custom game variant, it would say the action wild card is a scuba tank, and this is what it does. And then you can, play around with that.
Have your own
Because
rule
I'm
set for it.
really into giving people the tools to make a game their own.
And then maybe design their own games from that. Like getting comfortable doing it within someone else's game might inspire you to do it yourself.
Yeah, we want people to feel like what they want to do is interesting and is worthwhile.
And that and also that everyone is allowed to be creative. It seems like I know personally, even for a long time, I felt like I wasn't allowed to like play music or something like. It's just that we all need to know that we should let ourselves shine and do whatever we like.
And I just know that as myself, if I had found a game that had these cool wildcards and game variant options, I would have been all over it. So I'm trying to do it for me, 10 years ago.
Yeah. And others like you. Yeah.
I guess you guys have obviously play tested a lot. Do you think there's like an optimal
number of players that you prefer to play at, or do you think like every kind of player count has its own charm, I guess?
I would say 4 is probably what it's most balanced as. 2 is tough because you kind of know what the other person's doing and you're like have laser focus on each other. So it's hard to kind of pull the wool over someone's eyes if there's only 2 of you in the game.
But if you haven't played it before, or if you haven't played it much, 2 is going to be fine. But it's like if it's me and Trevor playing 2 of us, we know we made it, we know it inside out. So then it's going to be, then we're going to know what's happening a little bit more.
And it goes up to 6, Oof. Go crazy.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
To play it earlier, and Ferrell was trying to hide
how much data he had from me. I kept saying, "How much data do you have?" I thought, I won't tell you. And I thought, I think you have to tell me.
Yeah, I did have to tell you.
Yep, I specifically wrote in the rules.
Yeah.
Because of actually Matt, who is not here with us today, but Matt is working with us on he's invaluable to the team, helping us get the manufacturing side figured out while we worry about Kickstarter and all that. He's a devious man when he plays games.
Oh my god!
And he takes advantage of everything that's not written in the rules. So thanks to Matt, we were very able to make sure that those little corner cases are taken care of.
Well, that's good play testing then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He did some sneaky stuff.
Yeah, but to be fair, I guess it's a bit different on Tabletopia.
Oh yeah, I mean
as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's like in your hand, right? So it's like, but yeah.
Because it's like it's nice in person when you've got a covert card that says that you need to be able to see someone else's whole hand. It's a lot more fun to like look at their hands and be like ha, 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 laughing maniacally that you know it all.
It's a little tough on Tabletopia.
But it's the best thing that's ever happened on the computer.
Yeah, big shout out to Tabletopia because
we love you.
I mean, the playtesting that it opens up is it makes me speechless. It's so good. I can load in a new card and playtest it immediately, and it feels very similar to what you're doing in real life. Whew, good stuff.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You could like test stuff like basically instantly. That's pretty cool for you
guys,
Yeah, and I mean
it must make the playtest factor go up, like factor of n, like number of people playing, number of games than what you guys could do, especially at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody needs something to do right now.
I'll tell you the sad story. So here I have the Facility 7 box. Dr. Evil, get out of here. Okay, well.
He's trying to eat it.
There it is. Okay. So this box and all the, we got all the cards that came with it. There's several hundred cards. This thing arrived at the end of March of this year, which was just about the time when the whole world shut down.
Oh, yeah. We did our unboxing video days before.
it kind
Yeah.
of just sat on our kitchen table for months before we were able to start playing it with anybody and do some in-person playtesting.
Uh,
It was
Hmm.
tough. Yeah.
I mean, we had our
Yeah.
old prototype that we'd been testing for years, but like not the
That was
pretty
like
one.
printed on
It was
printer
printed
paper.
on, yeah, right.
Hey,
yeah.
it works, but you know.
So we wanted to show off the cool one,
Uh-huh.
obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're going to do some social stretch goals involving gold digit, gold member, um, and it's going to be about him trying to lend out his golden gadgets to defeat Professor Norwood.
Yeah.
And
So the
the
idea here is that they would have gold foil cards. Hopefully, now this is maybe a little premature. We're still working it out with the
manufacturer.
manufacturers. So hopefully we will be able to include all of this. But we're going to have, we believe, up to 10 gold foil cards with like very special, fancy abilities
Yeah.
that are kind of optional to play with because they are very powerful.
Yeah.
But they're not going to break the game. It's just 10 cards out of maybe 200. So
Jazz it up
yeah.
sometimes. Sparkle it up.
But like, what will they have on them? What will
I
they be?
guess we can talk about some of them. Okay.
Yeah, they're so good. I want
trying
to.
to-
One's got to be a golden gun, right?
Yes, that's the one that
Mhm.
inspired
Yep.
me for it. I've been like dreaming about GoldenEye and the Golden Gun, and I'm like, I can't believe this isn't in the game yet. And then Trevor just had so many amazing ideas after that.
I'll tell you, the golden gun icon doesn't really exist, or at least not in a nice way. So I had to create that one from scratch. But it looks just like
Yeah.
the golden gun. It
Perfect.
looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this gun, this is a very powerful weapon. It's got a range of 3 rooms, and it will kill an agent on the first shot. So forget
And that's the only thing. Yeah, as y'all
forget
know.
dazing. But of
So
course,
if you're sick of your friends, include that one.
yeah. So that's an optional. But it's fun to have. And I don't know if the version that you played had this most recent mechanic that we play tested at the UK Games Expo. It's a way to not die if you get killed as long as
Oh
you have
yeah.
data. So we did some play testing, and this
No,
is
I don't think I've heard that one yet.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let me share this with you guys. So if you have data
Yeah.
and you take like lethal damage, like okay, I'm dead now, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
not die and give 2 data to the person who shot you and basically
Little
bribe them
extortion.
to not kill you. And then you're kind of
Yeah, that's pretty
home
good. I
free.
like that. I think I like that. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, we haven't had the problem of I don't think anyone's died yet,
Oh, wow,
but
really?
I think that's pretty. I like the thought of it anyway. Yeah, it's been quite peaceful so
Oh, that's
far.
nice.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were finding that, because that was one of the things I really didn't like. You were saying about haunt and also about the haunt of betrayal,
Of
and
betrayal.
also about bang, is
Bang.
that player elimination can happen too soon in a game. And so specifically when I
Yeah.
created this, there were 2 phases. The first phase, you can't even fight each other because I didn't want people dying in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the second phase, you can kill each other. But I also really wanted to add some more ways to avoid death. You can still choose to die instead of giving up your data, which has happened in a couple of playtests. 2 people on
Yeah,
separate
I mean,
games
I could
have died out of
see it
spite.
happening. I'm pretty sure a fair few of our friends would rather die than give it to me. Yeah.
If you're
But then
winning,
it's
yeah.
your
Easily,
choice.
not even a
You
question.
choose to die,
That's
and it
true.
feels good instead
And you
of
can give some
100%
final
what happened.
words.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we got the golden gun. We got a couple other things. The One Ring is going to make an appearance.
Hmm. Oh yes, and the
from Lord of
golden
the Rings,
ticket,
so-
the golden ticket from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I like some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So we'll see. I don't want to talk too much
These
about
are
it.
good.
'Cause
I
again,
like.
Yeah,
these
we don't.
ideas.
Yeah, can't
Yeah.
spoil them.
But these are sounding cool though. I like where it's going.
Totally. And oh yeah, I meant to say that like what's going on as far as the storyline when all of this is happening is in the beginning, we have different agents from different agencies all with an uneasy truce going on, and that means that you won't be actually physically attacking each other with gadgets or weapons or anything like that. But once the self-destruct sequence begins and the mainframe is hacked, that's when everything can go wild, and that's how we kind of avoid the premature death. The
Yeah.
beginning is about exploration and maybe trying to knock a few gadgets out of somebody's hand and make sure they don't get, if they do get data from a card before it gets hacked, trying to steal that, you know. But nothing too crazy until it all starts to
Absolutely.
go off.
And in the beginning, you can still kill things. Guards. There's lots of guards that get in your way. They send you to prison. They steal your gadgets, and they're clones. And that's kind of the plot here. Professor Norwood has
That's yeah.
some basically building a clone army to take over the world. So don't feel bad. They're just clones. You can kill as many as you want.
And they're programmed to be evil on top of
Yeah,
that.
totally.
Would you describe the game as like in the beginning at least like semi-cooperative, right? Because I think you know at some stages you work together to kill the clones, and you don't want to work together too much to give the other eight advantage.
Yeah, we're saying it's semi-cooperative. That is not exactly the way that people who play cooperative games would maybe describe it, because
Yeah,
you're
like it's
still
not in like the way it is in Pandemic where you're all fully on a team.
But you
But
do
that's
have
why
the
it's
same mission to find the
Yeah.
mainframe, hack it, start the self-destruct sequence, thus saving the world. And then it's only after that. The game is basically as far as the agencies are concerned, the game is over after you hack the mainframe and the self-destruct. You did it, great. So now they don't care about cooperation anymore, and you just, take out the enemies because they're still enemies. You got agents from the KGB, you got people from FBI, CIA,
Shield.
Some agents who are
Burned.
Yeah, Metro City PD, that's Investigator Gizmo.
What's
not
the
sure
name
what
of
he's
Sean
doing
Rust?
here.
What's the name of that crazy council? Oh my God, from
The
Equilibrium.
Tetragrammaton Council.
Tetragrammaton
Yep.
Council.
That's the guy from the movie Equilibrium, which is a really great movie that
It's
I
so
included
good.
there.
It's
Underrated.
a thick movie.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's so good with that gun. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think this is a nice little little mini game as well, like trying to figure out who they are.
Totally.
Oh, totally. Speaking of, I would love to give the hint. I mean, we kind of just said it,
Go
but
for it.
a good way to find out. Well, they'll often rhyme, like Boston Flowers, Boston Flowers, but they don't always rhyme. And also underneath the agent name will always be the true to life organization that they're from. Sometimes CIA isn't that helpful, but you can still put it together and you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Although there are some obscure ones that Trevor just.
I'm a fan of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay?
We got a random Rick and Morty person in there
Yeah,
that is
there's
not
a
Rick or Morty.
It's very hard to figure out who that is.
Yeah.
Did you figure that out?
I don't think I've seen all the agents.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sure I'd like to. I'd like to think that I could.
There are 30
You'd get most of them, I
agents or
think.
so in the game, at least at the current setup, about 30.
Yeah.
So again, there's so many cards in this game that you will never have the same game twice. So the layout will be different, the agents will be different, the secret objectives will be different. It will feel very fresh. I've played this thing a lot. I can tell you.
How many room cards are there? Like not counting the mainframe and the conduits.
Yeah,
well,
I
think okay, 36 is the total if you include unless we've added one new one since then, but 36 was the total if you don't include prison nodes.
Right.
Starting.
So there's probably about 30 unique room cards
Yeah.
that could be, chosen from. And that's the current count. We're still play testing and playing around and all that, but it will be around there. And with that many cards, we did the math, there are 2 million possible combinations of facility layouts with those cards. So
and every one of Professor Norwood's is Facility 7. Every one of his facilities is called Facility 7 because he really likes the number 7, and so they're all called 7, and that's canon.
Yeah, fun fact, he has many facilities. Every game of Facility 7 that is played is a different facility that he built. They're all real, and they're all in the same universe. That's why he's such a threat. So you can't just play it once. If you really want to save the world, you need to
Gotta
play like
get him, knock
10,
him out.
maybe 100 times.
Y'all are doing your duty. You're good,
Yeah,
British, and now Denmark.
that guy's productive.
Exactly. Oh, and I also meant to say that the room cards will often have, I mean, pretty much all of them either have an obstruction or a use. Like you'll have to roll to get across the shark tank, or you'll maybe in the executive office you can get rid of a few cards to get a data because you bribe them. You know, there's certain things that you can do on the room.
Yeah, as a scientist, I can approve of the cut rooms like the research lab and the cloning facility.
Yeah, well,
I give my scientific approval.
Good.
Oh,
Norwood
that's
would be
great.
glad to hear that.
One of our
Well,
best
I did always want to be an evil scientist, so maybe I can do an internship with him.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pull you to our side. We're gonna get you to be a double agent, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You're too good.
Infiltrate
You're good.
Norwood's facility.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
We have a scientist friend, so we knew it had to be science approved.
Yeah, this is science approved from 2 people so far.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Definitely.
Well, I guess as a final sign out, I'd like to say that we've been working on this game. I've been working for about 6 years. Alyssa's been helping me out for about 4 years, ever since we've been together, really. And when COVID hit recently, we became a single income family pretty much overnight. We had a tour company here in New Orleans, a very small tour company, but it was working for us. We did walking tours, haunted walking tours. Alyssa and I are both licensed tour guides in New Orleans, and we, had to shut it down. So we
no more walking through the cemetery.
Silver lining, we had
the tour
time.
You do.
Yeah, exactly. But the silver lining, of course, is that we have time now to bring Facility 7 to Kickstarter and follow that dream and do it. And so we're really psyched, and we're so glad to have support from folks like you. Thank you guys so much for spending the time and playing the game, talking about the game, doing. I mean, come on.
The second I saw y'all's videos, I was like, they're so adorable, and they know they're talking about, and I hope they want to do this with us.
We're so
I'm glad you
to be
did.
Here with y'all today.
Well, I think we're glad we did too. Like you said, it was a lot of fun. So, I mean, that's the bonus, right? As long as it's fun, it's not work, right?
That's what you want. Yeah.
I know. This project has been the most fun entrepreneurial effort that I've ever taken part in, because it's literally revolves around fun. Like doing social media, it's just everything I love, so it's great.
Well, good job, guys. Really great game, and best of luck with the Kickstarter. I think you're doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think that you'll do pretty well, just based on playing the game.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.